Hello everyone, myself Sabri and I welcome you to our channel Solution Bridge Network and one-stop solution for all your Power Platform tutorials. Hello everyone, in today's video we are going to understand how we can leverage Power Automate to maintain the security in the SharePoint list items. For this video, I have taken a use case of a leave request list where anyone in the organization can raise a leave request, and I do have a Power Automate flow which gets triggered for the approval process of that list. If you would like to understand how this is created, you will be able to find the concerned video link on the top right corner of this video. You can click that and explore further. If you see the list, you can see there are 3 requests that are submitted by Pradeep, and we can see 2 more requests submitted by Grady. In another window, I have logged in as 2 other users. Here, I have the privilege of owner to the SharePoint site, and Pradeep and Grady has the member privileges. Let me take you to the screen where I have logged in as Grady. For instance, if you see, Grady still has a permission to delete or modify the entries which is submitted by Pradeep. And since Pradeep and Grady has the member privileges, they will be able to modify the column settings as well. They want to add an additional choice column, they can add it. So they will be able to change the schema. So by this end of the video, you will be able to understand how to restrict the members to not make change to the schema, whereas giving them only the privilege to view the entries submitted by them. To achieve that, I'll switch back to the list where I have the owner privilege, and we should just go to the settings and click on list settings. In the list settings, you will find one more option called permission for this list. Please select that and open the permissions area. You can see this is inheriting the permission from the parent. Parent is nothing but the SharePoint site. And we have 3 groups where members have edit privilege, owners have full control, and the visitors have read-only access. So here you can see that this inherits the permission from the parent, which implies that the access that we have enabled at the site level will be applicable to this list level as well. So first I would like to stop that permission so that we will be able to create a customized permission for our SharePoint list. As a next step, you need to make sure that the members are given a privilege less than edit. The reason being, edit permissions gives them the access to modify the schema, whereas they have privilege to even delete the complete list from the SharePoint site. So to change that, check the site and click on edit user permissions. Here you need to change it from edit to contribute. So contribute will give them the privilege where they can view, add and update any list item or a document, but they do not have access to delete the list or make changes to the schema of the list. So first let's click on OK. To recap, we have made 2 changes here. First, we have stopped the inheriting privilege that it takes from the SharePoint site, and we have just modified the member access from edit to contribute. Now, let's get back to the list and remove all the items what we have currently available in the list. So select all and delete everything. Now let's jump to the Power Automate where I've already mentioned that I already have a flow. So let me open the flow and give you a brief of what exactly the flow does. So this is the flow which we call it as leave request approval. So let's edit it. So what this flow does is whenever an item is created, it gets the manager details of the creator, updates the manager info to the SharePoint list, and it starts the approval. And based on the approval condition, whether the outcome is approved, it just updates the list item as approved or it updates the item as rejected. Now we are going to use the same flow where we are adding 2 more connectors which helps us to maintain the item level security. First, whenever an item is created, I would like to stop that item sharing to everybody. So let's go here and search for the SharePoint connector. And the action what we need is stop sharing an item or a file. So let's type stop and select the stop sharing item or a file option. Stop sharing an item or a file just disables the access to everybody except owners in the SharePoint site. So let's select the site and our list as leave request. and the ID which we need access to. So this ID is a dynamic content from the item created. Once the stop sharing an item or a file is completed, then the flow looks for the manager, and here I would like to add an action which gives the creator and the approver view access to the item. So again, I'll just go for a SharePoint connector and I'd look for an action, grant access. So grant access to an item or a folder. So what I would do here is I'll select the same SharePoint site in the library list. So let's select it as data site and let the list library name be the leave request. The ID what we're gonna pass here would be the ID from the when an item is created, and the recipients, this should be dynamic, where we need the created by email with a semicolon. We can mention that the manager too. So the role what we are trying to enable them is the view access. So whenever an item is created, the concerned user will just have the view access to the item. And here you have an additional option, and if you want to notify a recipient, you can notify, but here I would like to set as no. Now let's save the request. Let's try testing this flow. I would like to test manually, so let's click test. To see this flow working, now we need to go ahead and add a new item to the SharePoint list. Let's go to the member privilege sites. So I have logged in as Gary here, so I'm submitting a request on behalf of a Gary. So let's see the leave request. I have raised it from 1st of August till 4th of August, and I'm calling that request type as personal leave. Let's submit the request. You can see that this request got initiated. Probably if you go here, you will be able to see the Power Automate flow is running. Let's wait for the Power Automate flow to complete. So it stopped sharing and it granted access to this item. So let's go back to Gary's view. Here, once you refresh the site, you will be able to find the approver name that is being incorporated. Now just jump to Pradeep's screen and let's say if he is able to see the request. Now let's try refreshing the site and make sure that the request submitted by Grady is not visible in Pradeep's login. Yes, Pradeep is still not able to see the request that's submitted by Grady. So what we will do, we will add one more item from Pradeep's login and let's check that vice versa whether Grady is able to see the request. So I'm submitting a leave request from 20th August till 22nd August, calling it as a sick leave, and I'm just saving the request. Let us get back to the Power Automate flow. Click one step back where you will be able to see the run history, and we need to wait till that gets initiated. Let's refresh. So this is our previous request which is running 2 minutes ago. So we need to wait for a new request to start running so that we will be able to make sure that our item level permission is working. You could see that there is a new request which gets initiated. So we can just go back to Pradeep's login and let's reload the site to make sure that the manager details are getting updated, which in turn confirms that the flow is running. Yes, we have the manager information updated. So similarly, if you go back to Grady, you should not be able to see the request submitted by Pradeep. Let's go to Grady's login. We are not able to see any entry. Let's reload to make sure that the site is up to date. Yes, we are not seeing any request submitted by Pradeep. So to wrap up, what we have actually done is we just modified the list level permissions, stopped inheriting the permissions from the source SharePoint list, and we made sure that the members only have contribute access. And with the help of Power Automate Flow, we first stopped sharing that complete entire list item other than owner group, and then we have just granted access to the creator as well as the approver of that specific line item. By this, we come to end of this video. If you have any questions or clarification, please post it in the comment section and we will be happy to help. Thanks for watching. Subscribe our channel, hit the like button and press the bell icon for our new video alerts.